Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Remember11, The Age of Infinity. Let's get back to it. Let's find out what all Uni has to say to confuse us and confuse Satoru and just add a whole layer of confusion. Confusion. These mysteries in that terabyte disk, what on earth do they have to do with each other? Let out frail words. I humbly asked him as I hung my head dejectedly. Okay, Satoru has his faults, but I love this stuff. Stop saying stuff that don't make no dang sense. Say it in a senseful manner. If only everybody in these visual novels had said, would say something like this. Quit saying that. What about that? This. What is this? That. Quit being elusive and say the things. It just didn't occur at the moment I was about to continue. Well, apparently, if something had to happen like that, if somebody had said that in another game, then, well, yeah, interruptions, apparently. Voice suddenly echoed across the building. A sharp, chilly shriek interrupted my words. You and I looked at each other. Then what I heard next, the sound of something being thrown. That's the first time. First time I'd heard an unfamiliar name. Hattori. There shouldn't be anyone with a name like that in SPHIA, but Uni yelled while flying out of the room. Although I still had many questions to answer, I ran after him for the time being. So we dashed into the living area. A voice could be heard from the room on the right, facing the window. The door flew open, and the one who rushed out was a white blouse, an indigo skirt, legs clad in black stockings, straight black hair that fell to her chest, white skin so pale it was almost transparent. There's no mistake, it's Inabushi Keiko. In my memory, the name Inabushi Keiko was linked to the figure of this girl. However, Uni ran over to her, calling her name. Not Keiko, but Hattori. Why? Uni's voice wasn't reaching her. She ran in a zigzag across the room, shaking her head violently all the while and sending her long black hair into disarray. I just stood there, looking dumbfounded. And just then... Okay, I'm guessing that was Utsumi that screamed and said stuff. I was thinking, is Hattori actually speaking? That'd be a twist. That would be a big twist. Sumi suddenly appeared. She'd come flying out of the same room right after the girl called Hattori. Two of them had probably been in a scuffle, seeing as Utsumi's hair was rather disheveled. Utsumi Kali, the person you mentioned earlier. I know her, and she seems to know me too. That blood-curdling shriek blocked all my thoughts. It'd be funny if she did slap on the back of her head, tell him to get going. No matter how much I tried to think, I made no progress at all. The more I worried, the deeper I lost myself in this labyrinth of memories. So at the moment, I gave up on thinking completely. What should I be doing right now is following Utsumi's directions. My actions after reaching this decision were quick. Leaping into the dining area, I started looking for the girl. Not here. Where'd she go? As I looked, I heard someone run down the stairs behind me. I nimbly kicked off from the floor and made for the basement storeroom. It's pitch black down there. A heavy rumbling sound echoed in the darkness. It was a low mechanical sound that jolted my body to the very core. I didn't know what it really was, but now wasn't time to worry about that. Fumbling along the wall in the darkness, I finally hit the light switch. White light poured down from the ceiling. As I looked around searching for her, a small whisper from behind me reached my ears. I turned around. Uni beckoned to me, leaning halfway out from between the shelves. Rushed over to him. Uni was pointing behind the pile of cardboard boxes. 2 legs ending in a pair of black loafers were partially visible. Uni was nervous, not knowing what to do. Clasping his hands in front of his chest, he awaited further instruction. I placed a hand on his shoulder and signaled, "Wait here," in silence. Uni nodded. Leaving him there, I approached the cardboard boxes from the side, moving with great discretion and caution, slowly. However, in the next instant... Okay, she's definitely saying more than she normally does. She's acting differently, of course, too. Together with her scream, the pile of cardboard boxes came tumbling down right before my eyes. I quickly dodged them and rolled across the floor. Stood up immediately, my eyes fixed on the back of the fleeing girl. I gave chase as I raised my voice. Weaving her way left and right through the row of shelves, she continued her escape. Okay, she's saying words. Okay. That's strange. Her shoulders suddenly bumped into a stack of shelves. The sundries placed upon them tumbled down and scattered asunder on the ground. Jumping over those obstacles, I pursued her in earnest. Finally, at last I cornered her. Facing the corner of the storeroom, she slowly stepped back. Furiously shaking her head, she vehemently resisted me. She was clearly frightened, like she'd lost her head from some overwhelming terror. Spoke to her while maintaining an appropriate distance, refraining from inciting her recklessly. I want to go where? I couldn't understand her, but I obviously couldn't say so. The situation is different, apparently. She doesn't want to go. Is she talking about... I wonder if Hattori... I can't remember. Was Hattori mentioned in that report that Keiko has? Kokoro has, sorry. I can't remember. Seemed like maybe she wasn't, but she might have been. I can't remember. I'm wondering if that was a new personality that emerged because of Kokoro being there somehow. Somehow I wonder if Kokoro and Hattori are connected, because she's definitely acting different. And there was that one instance. Wasn't there one instance when Kokoro came back and she was acting crazy with the chair over her head? Wasn't that something that happened? So I'm wondering if maybe Keiko / Hattori is connected to Kokoro somehow. Just a thought. All that pause was just for me to decide to say, just came to help. Pretty much. After I'd said that, her expression showed a visible change. Deep inside her questioning eyes, a faint light came forth. All of a sudden, she threw herself against my chest, raising her voice in sorrow. I lost my bearings at this unexpected development. However, as it stands, I had no reason to push her away. I held her still in my arms.
丈夫だ。安心しろ。
やだ。私を見捨てないで。置き去りにしないで。
そんなことするもんか。ずっとそばにいてやるよ。俺がお前を守ってやる。だからとにかく落ち着くんだ。
怖いよ。怖いよ。
There was no way I could hold a proper conversation with her now. Silently embraced her as tightly as I could, making sure I didn't hurt her. Suddenly, from overhead, I saw someone approaching. It was Itsumi. She walked toward us slowly, her heavy footsteps resonating against the floor. Her right hand was holding something that gave off a metallic radiance, and it looked like a gun. Gun? What? Itsumi stood behind the girl. The girl looks up at me with pleading eyes. Itsumi quickly held the muzzle to the... Muzzle?! It's a real gun! Where'd she get a gun at? And, wow, no wonder she was running away from her. Wow. And pulled the trigger. Not any hesitation and silence. The girl lost her strength. Slipping from my grasp, she collapsed to the floor with a thud. Tranquilizer?
殺したのか。
面白い冗談ね。
冗談？
さあ、いいからこの子を部屋まで運んでちょうだい。
Simi said, paying no attention to my shock.
この程度の分量じゃ死なないわよ。
分量って。
Simi sighed and threw the gun she held to me.
鎮静剤よ。あなたに撃ったのと同じもの。
I stared fixedly at the object she just handed to me. I definitely wasn't capable of firing bullets. An emptied ampule was mounted on the back. I quickly understood that it was an injector shaped like a gun. Okay.
頼んだわよ。
Saying nothing more, Simi walked away. Simi is seeming a lot different in this point of view. I'm not sure. You and I, who were left behind, looked down at the girl lying on the floor. Just to be sure, I put my ear to her mouth. She was breathing, I could hear it. As I knelt beside the girl, I turned my eyes to Uni. About as natural as a piece of lifeless rubber, Uni's face twisted itself into a forced smile. Well, that was unexpected.
Yukido-kun, さっきはごめんなさいね。
Tim and I were in the dining area. We were sitting at the table, facing each other. Uni was there as well, sitting beside Itsumi. Placed in front of us were cups filled to the brim with warm beverages. Itsumi and I were having coffee, and Uni was having milk tea. As soon as I asked, Itsumi shook her head and laughed. I couldn't see that as a laughing matter. Inubushi Keiko was now asleep. Uni and I had carried her back to her room. The three of us had gathered here soon after. Uni entered to talk hesitantly. I was puzzled over how to answer. With a search for the right words, Itsumi spoke.
ユニ君は誰から聞いたの？あの女の子が自分から教えてくれたんだ。そう。いい？ユニ君。あの子はね、乖離性同一性障害っていう病気にかかってるの。あの子の中には鈴影ほとりという名前のもう一人の自分がいるのよ。戸籍上の本名は犬伏恵子なんだけど。
I see, so that's how it is. There was no longer any doubt as to why that girl had two different names. Come to think of it, I should have been aware of it from the start. After all, that was the main reason why she was confined in SPHIA. After Itsumi's explanation, that which which was somewhat obvious, had become solid
まあ
fact.
難しいこと言ってもわからないかもしれないわね。とにかく彼女は心を病んでしまっているのよ。ここにいるユウキトウ君と同じように。
That's me, crazy guy, Satoru. Crap, I actually don't know. I sincerely don't know which one to choose. To be honest, for humor's sake, I kind of want to say exactly what I just did. Be like, yep, okay. He caught me. I'm crazy. You know what? Okay, that's what we'll do. Couldn't help but nod. My heart felt like it was being eaten away. But here now was the first time I'd heard the specific name for it, dissociative identity disorder. I turned to Utsumi again to confirm what I just heard.
多重人格になっちまったのか。
ええ、
She replied to my question with that word.
どうしてわかる？
あなたが冬川心の名前を名乗ったからよ。
I had no recollection of that. If I've called myself Obi-Wan Shiknobi, does that make me a person with DID? I don't know. But since Uni confirmed it too, it had to be true. Some time ago, I had introduced myself as Fuyakawa Kokoro.
ねえ、でもなんでサトルは
Actually, I didn't call myself that, it was a friend of mine. The answer to that question was as
そ
follows.
れがユウキドウ君にとって最も都合が良かったからよ。精神の安定を図る上で冬川心という人格になり変わってしまうのが何よりも最適だと彼は判断したんだと思う。
Simi answered Uni. Shutting my mouth to listen to her story, it felt like they were talking about somebody else's problem. Even when they mentioned Yukido-kun, him, and so forth, it felt like I had nothing to do with me.
ねえユウキドウ
Simi turned to me and
君、これ
spoke.
からいくつか質問するから正確に答えてね。まずこの名前に聞き覚えはない？眉住凛と、それからよもぎ誠治。
Okay, how does she know these people? Well, I know how she knows one of them. But why would... They... Yeah, they sound familiar.
ああ、知ってる。知ってるよ。
I answered flustered.
俺が前に付き合ってた彼女で、よもぎさんの方は内海さんの。
I started speaking, but I stopped mid-sentence. How could I have forgotten something so important until now? Yomogi Seiji and Utsumi Kali were married, so he knows this fact. After the approval of the dual surname system with the law revision in 2008, Kali had changed her surname back to Utsumi, her maiden name. In other words, the man who'd appeared in my dream was none other than Utsumi's husband. However, why did Utsumi decide to ask about him now? That's a good question. So he knows the guy's name, okay, from her. Why Mayuzumi Lin, too? The fact that Utsumi knew about Yomogi Seiji was of no surprise to me, but how does she know about Lin?
そう、聞くまでもないことだったわね。あなたは二人のことを知っている。じゃあ次の質問。あなたは去年起きた赤倉岳の事故のこと覚えてる？
うん。それも覚えてるよ。
She was probably referring to Flight How 18. At this point, Uni abruptly forced his way into the
ね
conversation.
えねえ、二人とも何の話してるの？
Sumi tilted her head in confusion. She gazed back at Uni with a bewildered look.
え、何が変なの？
ああ、なんでもない。気にしないで。
そんなこと言われても気になるよ。
いいからちょっとだけ黙ってて。今はお兄ちゃんと話をしてるから。
でも
お願い。話なら後でちゃんと聞いてあげるから。ね。
Uni pouted sulkily and shut his mouth. Took a sip of the milk tea instead. Looked back at Sumi and continued.
結局内海さんは何が言いたいんだ？
わからないの。
If you put it like that, I guess. The HAL 18 incident. The ones who were on board the small passenger plane.
よもぎ誠治、冬川心、眉住凛、この3人は去年の1月17日赤倉岳の雪崩に巻き込まれて。
そうだから私は冬川さんや眉住さんのことを知ってるの。それからもちろんユニ君のことも。
Uni inclined his head, openly expressing his curiosity at the mention of his name. Yet he was obediently staying quiet. Did Sumi's warning work? But I couldn't stay quiet, and as soon as the thought crossed my mind, the words came out automatically.
そうだよ。どうしてユニはこんなところにいるんだ。
He was the only survivor of the crash. Since then, 1 year had passed, yet I still have no idea why or how he showed up in SPHIA.
それはね。
Uni tried to answer, but Sumi stopped him.
待ってよ、話をややこしくしないで。
Can you make it more complicated?
最初から私が全部説明してあげるから。
Okay, that's what we need.
最初から。
僕のことも？
そう。全部って言ったら全部よ。私が知っていることは全部。
She got my hopes up. I thought I'd learn everything. I thought in the next episode we'd learn about everything, and there'd be no point to play this game anymore. We'd know the whole everything. Well, apparently we'll learn something though in the next episode. Oh man, she got my hopes up so much. I was like, yes, answers. Hopefully there'll be at least an answer in there. Sounds like Uni actually remembers being in the cabin. At least he hinted like he might know. So, yeah, this situation seems really strange. But hopefully answers will be answered. Answers will be answered. That's the proper sentence, right? Hopefully questions will be answered in the next episode. Remember 11. So, hope to see you there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you then. Farewell.